They told us the end would be loud. They promised us fire, explosions, and the roar of war. But they lied. The end didn't come with a bang. It came with a notification on your phone that never loaded. It came with the silence of the ATMs. It is 2026. The numbers on the screen have stopped moving, and the paper in your wallet? It's just paper now. Look out your window. Do you hear that quiet? That isn't peace. That is the sound of a civilization holding its breath before it suffocates. Welcome to the new reality. To understand the rot, we must first look at the fruit. For decades, we built a castle on a foundation of sand and algorithms. We believed that value was infinite, that lines on a graph only went up. But in the early months of 2026, the mathematics of greed finally collided with the physics of reality. It wasn't a recession, it wasn't a depression. Those are words for systems that are still functioning. This was a cardiac arrest of the global economic engine. It started with the banks freezing withdrawals. Technical difficulties, they said. A temporary security patch, they claimed. But days turned into weeks, and when the screens finally turned back on, the zeros were still there, but they didn't mean anything anymore. Now the skyscrapers stand like tombstones over cities that can no longer feed themselves. The chaotic noise of the internet has been replaced by the very real, very physical struggle for calories. In this video, we are not looking at charts. We are looking at the dark reality of life on the ground, right now in 2026. Let us walk through the suburbs first. The manicured lawns, once a symbol of status, have been dug up. The soil is turned over not by machines, but by blistered hands that have never held a shovel before. They are planting potatoes where they used to park their electric vehicles. The first thing to die was the illusion of the job. Millions woke up, dressed in their business casual, and sat before black screens. When the currency collapsed, the corporate hierarchy evaporated instantly. The middle manager, the CEO, the HR director, titles that meant everything in 2025 became ghosts in 2026. Now the hierarchy is simple. It is binary. Can you fix a generator? Can you suture a wound? Can you purify water? If the answer is no, you are a dependent. And in this new world, dependents are a liability. The supply chain didn't just break, it shattered. We forgot that just-in-time delivery meant nothing in reserve. The supermarkets were stripped bare in the first 72 hours. Now the grocery store is a cavern of echoes. Hunger changes the architecture of the human mind. It takes just 3 days of fasting to turn a civilized accountant into a scavenger. In 2026, the primary currency is not crypto, it is not gold, and it is certainly not the dollar. The currency is trust, and inflation has made trust too expensive to afford. Neighbors who borrowed cups of sugar a year ago now watch each other through the blinds. You do not tell anyone you have food. You do not tell anyone you have medicine. You cook at night with the windows sealed so the smell of protein doesn't drift down the street and invite a raid. If the suburbs are desperate, the cities are a death trap. Without electricity, the elevators don't work. The water pumps don't push water above the 3rd floor. The penthouse apartment, once the pinnacle of success, is now a dehydration chamber in the sky. The exodus began 2 months ago, a reverse migration. Millions flooding out of urban centers, walking towards the rural zones. But the rural zones, they closed their gates. This is the darkest chapter, the conflict between the urban desperate and the rural prepared. The farmers, the homesteaders, the people mocked for years as preppers, they are the new aristocracy, but they are under siege. We see a return to feudalism, small communities barricading access roads, establishing a perimeter. A box of amoxicillin is worth more than a Ferrari. A Ferrari is just a metal box you can't drive because the gas stations have been dry for months. But there is an economy. Life finds a way, even in the dark. The gray market has replaced the stock market. The barter system has returned with a vengeance. A liter of vodka trades for 3 days of labor. A functioning solar charger trades for a wedding ring with a 2-carat diamond. The diamond is useless, but old habits die hard. Some people still cling to the shiny rocks, hoping the world will go back. But the world isn't going back. Even if the banks opened tomorrow, even if the power grid stabilized, the trauma of 2026 has severed the connection between effort and reward. We have realized that the system was a hallucination. When that belief evaporated, we were left with the terrifying reality of the physical world. The tragedy is most visible in healthcare. Chronic conditions, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease have become death sentences. The supply of insulin dried up when the refrigerated transport trucks stopped running. We are watching the elderly and the infirm fade away in the quiet back rooms of houses that are slowly freezing. This is the great filter, the culling of the dependent. Cruel, inhumane, and happening right now behind the closed doors of your neighborhood. And where is the authority? Where are the ones who promised to keep the lights on? They are in the green zones. The government has consolidated. They have retreated to secure sectors, powered by independent grids, guarded by military remnants, paid not in money, but in food rations for their families. Inside the green zone, you survive, but the cost is total submission. You work where they tell you, you eat what they give you, you own nothing. The chaos outside the walls serves a purpose. It makes the tyranny inside the walls look like mercy. People are lining up, begging to be let into the cage just for the promise of a warm meal. But there is another path, the path of the drifter, the neo-nomad. These are the ones who realized that the house is a trap. They move. They carry their lives on their backs. They have learned the old ways, how to read the weather, how to trap game, how to become invisible. They are the only ones who are truly free in 2026. But they are hunted. Every stranger is a potential predator. We are seeing the rise of tribes, warlords, local tough guys who realized that violence is the ultimate authority. In the absence of police, the man with the most ruthless disposition becomes the king. In 2026, might makes right. The intellectual, the philosopher, the debater, they are silent now. The loud ones are the ones holding the weapons. But here is the truth that keeps me awake at night, the truth that no one in the breadlines is talking about. This wasn't an accident. The financial meltdown of 2026 was not a result of incompetence. It was a demolition, a controlled demolition. Look at who is buying the wreckage. Look at who is acquiring the land, the resources, and the rights to the water tables, while the currency is worthless. A consolidation of power is happening on a scale the world has never seen. They needed the old system to die so they could introduce the new one. The chaos you are living through, that isn't the failure of the plan. That is the plan. They are waiting for us to be hungry enough, cold enough, and desperate enough to accept any solution. And when they finally turn the digital financial system back on, it will come with chains we can never remove. We aren't just losing our money, we are being reset. The year 2026 is not just a time on a calendar, it is a warning. If you are listening to this, you are the resistance, not because you are fighting with guns, but because you are thinking, you are preparing. The world has changed and it is not changing back. The storm is overhead.
The only question remaining is, do you have the shelter, the skills, and the mind to endure it? Don't rely on the system to save you. The system is what brought us here. If you want to survive the dark reality of the near future, you need to be ahead of the curve. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. In our next transmission, we will discuss the 3 specific skills you need to learn today to survive the silence of tomorrow.